I wanted to be good for you. Laying on the side, guess it's time for a different prayer. But please favor for me. Do this one favor for me. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Candace here from Swipes and Giggles, here to give you the 411 on online dating a little bit more. And you know me, it's your girl Candy, and we are here for another episode recap of Insecure Season 4, Episode 8. And I finally have the name ready for it. It is LowKey Happy. And I am more than sure everyone is really happy with this episode. Before we get into it, make sure that you like, comment, share your opinions down below. Are you guys ready for this new ship that we have? Well, new but new ship that we're having this episode. If so, make sure you drop your comments and your opinions down below. Let me know what you thought about the episode, and if you like the recap. And make sure that you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for all those who have been subscribing to my channel. I've been getting ones here and there, and I appreciate it very much so. Please let me know if you are interested in any new content. If you have any, I guess you could call it strawberry letters like Steve Harvey. If you want any love advice or relationship advice, or girl, my man ain't doing me right, or yo dog, my girl ain't doing nothing for me, you just let me know and we can talk about it, and I can leave it anonymous. Anonymous. Anyway, Bobby Valentino. So what is going on with me right now? Chirp. Let's get straight into this recap, because it was so much to be unfolded. I want to take notice of a couple of things before I forget, because while I'm talking, my brain will wander, okay? All right. First, I would like to take note that there was no commercial breaks at all during this episode. There was no commercial breaks. We always get a commercial break, but there was no commercial breaks, okay? Full through and through. I like the fact that they did that, because it made us stay in the moment. With commercial breaks, it almost, I don't know how to say it, it almost takes us out of like the intense moment that we're in, right? So if you're watching a football game or something and it goes into a commercial, you take a break, you go get a water, you go get some juice, you use the bathroom, your brain takes a moment away from what's happening right now until you get back into it. You're thinking about what this person could have did, what they should have did, and all this other stuff, but you're not in the moment until you get back into it. But now you're kind of like anew. You're either newly frustrated or newly sad or something like that. You're not staying continuously in the moment. And with situations like this, especially when it deals with a friendship or a relationship, but more importantly a relationship, you cannot take a break from it. You know what I'm saying? You have to stay in the moment, especially in a deep situation and conversation like Lawrence and Issa was having this episode. So that's one thing that I really appreciate, because it felt like I was Issa. Like if you was a guy, you were Lawrence. If you were a female, you were Issa, or whatever you feel and you take on for whatever character represents you. That's what you felt like. And I felt like I was Issa the entire time. You know, a bit of me was Lawrence, where it came from me being curious about what would have been. But then the rest of the time is me being Issa, like, okay, well, this is happening. Oh my God. Because Issa was doing like me, like how I would be in a situation like that. I've had these conversations with exes. I've had these conversations, and they are no easy task. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. So if you remember from the previous episode, Molly and Andrew come back from Mexico from going on a weekend vacation. They see Lawrence in the airport. He said that he came from San Francisco. And then he, as we all know, eventually calls up Issa while leaving the airport saying like, hey, you've been on my mind. Let's get a drink. They meet up at this bar, and as soon as Issa walks in, she falls down. And I mean, my girl fell hard on the floor. Hard, okay? To me, it symbolizes them falling back in with each other. It could have just been Issa falls. Like, they have to bring some type of goofiness into the episode. They don't want to make it too heavy, too deep, too quick. But before they even had a conversation, like, Issa falls, like as soon right after they lock eyes with each other. So to me it means something, but to them it probably meant nothing. After Issa dusts the dirt off her shoulders, Lawrence ordered her favorite drink, which was I think it was it's not Percocet, Prosecco or Prosecco, whatever the drink's called. and Henny, but now she's like, no, I'm a vodka chick now. You know what I'm saying? But it's cute that he remembered her drink. You know, if you guys do know, it's been a year since Issa and Lawrence officially broke up. It's been a year. So we've been watching between season 1 and season 4 has taken us 12 calendar months to get to this point. And it just seems like it's been a different year, a different season, everything. It's literally been 12 months that this is all has happened. And I like the way the show did every season. It made it seem like it was something completely different. And during the conversation, I'm sorry, I'm just looking down my notes. Like, I finally have a 2-page note thing again because the last couple of things have just been 1 page. Lawrence and Issa, they kind of just do the same old catch up. How you been doing? What's going on with you? How you been? This, that, and the third. Nothing really deep happens in the conversation. Lawrence brings up the fact that he seen Molly, and Issa tells him, well, we're not friends anymore. We don't speak. And she says, I'm so sorry to hear about Condola. I heard that you guys broke up. He's like, yeah, we did. And he was like, it has nothing to do with you, basically. And they just had like a little part. And then next thing you know, Truth Hurts by Lizzo comes on, and everybody loses their daggone mind. And then of course it's bar hour. It starts. Everybody's bumping into people at the bar. They're trying to order. And what I think it is one of those restaurant bar areas that like it's like a restaurant that turns into a bar at a specific time. So I think maybe like if you're from Boston, like a 222 would be like a great example of that. It's a restaurant that turns into a nightclub / bar at the end of the night. They go to leave. They go to call a Lyft, and Lawrence makes it funny by calling Issa because he knows that she does Uber and Lyft. And they drive over to this Mexican restaurant that Issa went to with her brother for Thanksgiving. And then later on we find out she's went there to different times also. But in between time, she gets into the lift, okay? And because, Lawrence is up there in the world. Oh, and I forgot to say, Lawrence, during the little talk with Issa while he was at the bar. See, I told y'all, once my brain gets going, I want to get to the exciting part. But Lawrence was in the bar with Issa, basically saying that he was in San Francisco doing interviews. He wants to just try to get out there and, do something new and everything like that. And he's originally from San Francisco, as that we find out because Issa asked about, his parents and if he got a chance to visit them while he was out there. And we all know like they're all like from Inglewood, Inglewood is like their area in San Francisco. I don't know, like obviously you gotta take a flight to get there, so I don't know the difference in like it's in the same state. All I know, any which way. So then the Lyft and the Lyft driver's like just yapping her gums. It sounds like it's Shorty from the Jeffersons, but I don't know. They didn't show her face too clearly. But while they were driving, she's like, where are you guys from? Is this your first date? If it's not your first date, Issa lied and said they're from Alaska. And then she's like, well, how long have you guys been together? Because you guys look like you are the example of black love. Lawrence is like, well, I tried to lock her down. I bought a ring and everything. Guess it wasn't good enough. And Issa's like, is this a lie? You telling the truth? Like, what is this? And they get to a red light, and the driver says, well, the light's not going to hold for that long. And she turns around with her phone, the flash on, saying, propose to her now. Craziness. So they get to the restaurant. They sit down and eat. And that's where you find out Issa had been there a couple of times on like either dates or with Amal and everything like that. They sit down, and Issa basically orders the whole entire menu because Florence was just being too indecisive. And I feel you, Issa. I hate indecisive people when it comes to picking food or when it comes to going somewhere. It's just like, bro, there's only so many things that you know and you see on this menu. Just pick something, bro. It's a Mexican restaurant. Tacos if you can. Carne asada. Do something. So then they start having their conversation. And the whole night, Issa has been saying, like, bro, what do you want? Like, you said, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. At Tiffany's house, I want to talk to you. You call me. I want to talk to you. I've been trying to talk to you this whole night. So what it is, bro? What's up? Can I get in them guts? He did. But we ain't in there yet. We ain't there yet, sis. We ain't there yet. So anyway, Trent. So Lawrence finally opens up, and he basically says to Issa, I'm going to have to look at my notes now because I wrote down some direct quotes that I really just want to speak on. And he said, oh, I'm about 10 minutes already. Oh, let me get it together. I'm sorry, my twists are doing some things here. So he basically says that he always wondered about the what if in the relationship. If we remember, the reason why him and Condola kind of split was because, you know, Lawrence felt like slighted because he felt like when I think her friend Vicky had basically made a reference that like Lawrence is just here for some fun and that like Condola's not taking their relationship seriously to go to the next level. The question of if Issa didn't cheat on you, what would have happened between you two came up. And that was probably one of the reasons why him and Condola split up, because there's just uncertainty on both sides. She just got divorced a year and a half ago and Lawrence is out here trying to find a wifey. Okay. Like they're 30, 31 years old. So, you know, it's the settle down time for millennials. Okay. So he asked like the what if relationship question. And he also asked, did I give up too easy? And Issa replied back, like, you know, I don't think you gave up too easy, but also I didn't want you to give up on us. So what I am going to take that is, she's saying you had every right to break up with me. I cheated on you. You had every right to dismiss, like, you know, our relationship. I just wish that you wouldn't have gave up on us, like, building together or trying to rebuild what we had, or even just trying to just stay connected with each other. It's just because Lawrence like literally just left. Like there was nothing. He was pissed at her for like literally 3 months straight. So I think that's what it was. It's like, I wish you just hadn't given up on who we were together, who we were not together as in a relationship, but who we were for each other and what we meant to each other. And then, you know, Lawrence asked another hard question. Why Daniel? You know, and she says, well, it really didn't. It wasn't like a why Daniel thing. It really could have been anybody. And she's like, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but Daniel was there for me. He gave me attention when it wasn't there. You know, when you weren't giving me the attention that I needed. And she said, it just felt good to feel wanted. And then he sits there, he's like, was I that bad in the relationship? And she's like, yeah, like our relationship was that bad. And she says, you know, to be honest, I used to drive around a couple of times after work just so I could avoid you and not come home to you. And when she said that, Lawrence, it hit Lawrence. It hit Lawrence a lot. And I watched the wind down. If you guys do have time, go on HBO. Every episode they have a wind down with Issa, the director, and like whoever they have as a guest sometimes. And it's nice to get the actors' input on the episode that they were just in to see like what they thought about it. And Lawrence, well, Jay Ellis basically said when he heard Issa say that she drove around to avoid coming home, he was just like, you know, it had to hit Lawrence like, I really wasn't taking care of our relationship. I really wasn't giving the effort that it possibly could have had. I wasn't doing enough to keep this relationship. What I then like is after he comes to this realization, there's a quietness. The camera kind of pans down on them almost at an angle, and we get like not a together shot of them, but it's secluded. It's just like Issa, Lawrence, like, you know, it's a one-on-one conversation back and forth, and the music stops. It was a very mute conversation between those two, and I appreciate that because sometimes the outside world can interrupt what is going on in the moment. And you don't need that. You need that seclusion, that airtight, locked in sound of just you two speaking. So that way there's no distractions happening, you know? And that's what I love about car conversations, because I'm a good car conversation hoe, okay? I love me a good car conversation. I love sitting in the car and it's airtight. No one's getting in, no one's getting out. We're just sitting there in our own thoughts. The quietness is what keeps you still and makes you think before you say something. When there's a lot of noise and a lot of chaos going on, you're more frankly to like just speak. You're just going to say something. You're not going to really break it down in your brain of what you really want to say and how you want to present it. So when they got into that moment, Issa then says, and the Danny was just there. He made me feel wanted. And she goes on to a whole entire thing. She's like, oh, well, yeah, she goes into, I'm sorry, my brain blanked. So she says, you know, he made me feel wanted. And he's like, but we were getting back into our relationship. We was working on us. And, you know, Issa's like, yeah, that's why it devastated me when I did it. She said, but at the same time, I think I was scared. I was scared that we were going to fall back into old habits in our own ways. She said, Lawrence, I tried to talk to you. I tried to get you to open up to me. I tried to do everything I could to have you open up and just tell me what was going on when you were going through what you were going through. And it just seemed like you weren't going to do any of that. You weren't keen on opening up to me at all. And she's like, we didn't have sex. When I came home, you barely talked to me. It's like you didn't want me anymore. Lawrence says, you know, watching. Lawrence, okay, I had to read what I was saying because I was like scribbling this down really quick. Then Lawrence comes back with, during that time when I was going through what I was going through, aka when Lawrence was unemployed and he didn't have a job and he wasn't working and was quote unquote not feeling like the man of the relationship or the man of the household, which happens to a lot of men when they feel like they're not taking the providing position in a relationship. He said, watching you get up and go to work and do something with a purpose hurt me. Watching you succeed made me feel like I have nothing going for me, that I'm incomplete. Like I'll never be able to do something to amount like what you do. And watching someone succeed or watching someone have a purpose or knowing what they want to do, and you're sitting there like, I don't know what I want to do, can make you feel inferior to them. You know what I'm saying? It makes you feel like, well, why are they even with me? You know, so you start questioning, why are they with me? Why do they want me? And then that makes you feel down. And then it makes you feel like you're holding that person back, which makes you then close up. You don't want to talk to them, because if you talk to them, then they'll probably get mad or they'll probably leave you. And he says at one point in time, he was considering on moving back home just to figure himself out again. But he said, I didn't want to leave you behind and make you feel like I just left you again and I wasn't there for you again. Then they come out of the noise. They come out of it because a waitress came to like talk to them. And she sits there and she's like, the thing about the ring, did you really buy a ring? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, oh, I really ain't shit, huh? And he goes, I mean, we went ring shopping together. What did you think was going to happen? She's like, I don't know. It just didn't seem like that's something that you wanted to happen between us. She then goes to the restroom. And when she goes to the restroom, Issa in the wind down, Issa Rae herself mentions that the times that Issa went to the restroom in these situations throughout the episode, she said maybe Issa was in the bathroom rapping to herself, or maybe giving or talking to her mirror self to try to figure out what she should do, what she shouldn't do, and everything like that. And I really do think that's what was happening, because it wasn't like she had Molly to call on to like talk about anything. So Issa probably had went into the bathroom just to like, well, to pee more than likely because she was drinking, but also just to really like understand what was happening between the two. And I also like want to point out that in this episode there was no driving by these people. They knew they were drinking when they were going there, so no one drove their cars, and they got Ubered and Lyft home everywhere. So that's what I appreciate. Condola text Lawrence while Issa was in the bathroom and said, "Hey, I can't do Tuesday. Can we meet up Friday? Can we meet up tonight?" So he said, "I'm actually busy right now. And I'm out with somebody. Let me hit you up after we're done and we'll see." Okay. So Issa and Lawrence walk out the restaurant, and then out of nowhere you hear brah, brah, and it's TSA Bay. It's Calvin with his little new thing. And he sees Issa. He's like, "Yo, what's up, bruh? Like, yo, it's crazy." And when Lawrence says, like, "How do you know Issa?" He's like, "Oh, yo, we used to hit it back in the day. Or we used to hit it or whatever." And so they leave. Calvin and his little girlfriend or whatever she is to him leave. And Issa's like, well, they are, because they were going to go to the art walk. So Issa's like, "Oh, maybe we can go to the art walk." So they go on this long. I'm not going to go back and forth with what they say and what they don't say. Just watch the episode if you want to hear that. This is for a recap, okay? I'm not here for the verses back and forth what they're talking about and what they were saying. Let's just get to the good juicy part, because I know it's been 20 minutes and I ain't even there yet. I'm sorry. So any which way, they go through the art walk. All right. Lawrence has a call from Condola. Issa sees the call from Condola, and she's like, "Are you guys still talking? Y'all chatting? Like, what it is? What it is? Can I get in them guts?" He did! Anyways, and they go around looking at the pretty art and how the art looked and the art and stuff like that. And then finally, they get to a piece where they started mentioning who's who in each of the art pieces, and then when you got to the final piece, we didn't get to see what it looked like, and they both were just like, it looks, I can't explain this one to me. And Lawrence bought it, mind you, so I don't know. I feel like it represents Issa to Lawrence some way somehow, and maybe Issa didn't notice it. I don't know, but I feel like he bought some art that represents Issa for him. During the art walk, he asked Issa, like, what makes you so happy? And Issa's like, I'm just trying this new happiness thing, and I'm trying to find a way to make money. So I'm going to be creating happiness for myself by doing little small black pro-black events around the city. And then Lawrence, gets asked the same question. He says, I'm pretty happy. And I think he's talking about right then and right there, being with Issa and just enjoying his time with her. And so they get another lift, and she finds out that Lawrence actually lives around the corner from her. And they get to Lawrence's place because he was getting dropped off first. He wants to prove Issa wrong, that like his apartment's not bummy. So she goes inside. She looks around and everything like that, and she sees the famous couch, the couch that held so many memories, so many love-making scenes and everything. She then asks to go to the bathroom again. Now, when she went to the bathroom this time, honey, that wasn't her talking to herself. She was doing the cooch test, okay? Any woman who out here in these streets know the cooch test, okay? You have to go to the bathroom, and you want to make sure the cooch is okay, all right? Because the cooch could have been okay. The cooch could have been pap ready. It could have been pap ready the whole entire night, even though you're not getting a pap, but you know what I'm talking about. It could have been ready the whole night. But you want to make sure that the cooch is definitely okay. Splish splash Eddie, I'm taking a bath. Throw a little water on there. You gotta take your jeans off quickly, take your underwear off quickly, just do a little whole bath real quick. Dry it on up, put your clothes back on, act like nothing happened, and your panties is in your purse or in your pocket. Act like nothing happened. Everybody know the cooch test. Y'all ain't gonna play me like y'all don't do the cooch test, okay? And then Issa probably was like, "Yeah, we gonna take that D. We're going to take that D, and we're going to have that D, because that's our D. That ain't Condola's D. That's our D." I'm more than sure that's what Issa's talk was like in the bathroom. I'm not too sure. It's not like I had a conversation like that before by myself. Anyways, Lawrence takes a call from Condola outside, and he's like, "We're wrapping up right now. Maybe I'll see you in a few minutes." He comes back inside to see Issa standing there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry that you heard the conversation." She goes, "It was Condola, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you going to go see her?" And he's like, I don't know, maybe. So then she goes to walk towards the door while he walks inside to, like, give her that space. And she's about to go outside. She stops, she turns around, and she's like, what if I stay? And Lawrence is like, I don't know. I mean, what if you do stay? And she said, I had a good time tonight. And he's like, tonight made me happy. And she said, I'm happy when I'm with you. And he said, yeah, me too. So Issa stepped to him like a big dog and said, so. He said, so. And then with the arrogance in his voice and the smirk on his face, he said, so, stay. Child, my panties would have dropped to the floor in 3 seconds. Let a man tell me to stay like that. Good God. And next thing you know, they did that hesitation. Next thing you know, it was on and popping. And they was kissing and all that other stuff. He went down on my good sis, ate that coochie up, you know what I'm saying? Alexa, play the song with Big Sean.
Hey, it's so good, pussy so good. If I could quit my job and fuck you all day shit, I would, yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. If I could quit my job and fuck.
Yeah, that's what they did. Issa got on top and rode that thing like a Camaro. Okay, she said, Megan Thee Stallion who? Megan Thee Stallion where? What? What's up? And I'm doing it with natural hair. Sis's bun didn't move. All right. So they made love. At first, I thought this was a joke. At first, I thought this was a dream. Because if you guys remember from the first season, if you remember the end of the first season, I think when I think it was the first season or the end of the second season. I can't remember right now. When Issa and Lawrence met each other. It was the end of the second season when Issa and Lawrence met up with each other in their old apartment. And they had like that closure moment. And Lawrence turned around on bended knee and proposed to Issa. And we saw a whole flash forward of their lives together. I thought that was Issa turning around and saying, what if I stay? And then when they were done having the pretend sex, Lawrence was going to come back and say, I had a good night tonight, Issa. I don't want to ruin it. I thought that's what was going to happen, but it didn't. They actually had sex. I was very surprised. Your mother was in this room screaming, insert clip. So anyways, yeah, it was awesome. And in the morning, Issa woke up, rolled over, because Issa has played this shame walk, getting out the bed with the man game too many times. She's like, shorty, I don't even want to be here. I don't want to lay here. I'm going to put my clothes on. I'm going to leave. So she turned and looked at him, and she said some funny, cute remark that I can't remember right now. And, they just kind of laid there for a second talking. And he's like, do you want me to drive you? She's like, Lawrence, I can walk home. It's perfectly fine. And he's like, well, be good. Like, hit me up, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I had fun. She's like, I had fun too. And my sis put on her red boots. Now, here's another thing. This is why you have to, I studied, I think it's called filmography. I studied filmography in college. I took like 1 or 2 courses about how different lighting and shade and scenes can associate to different things. First of all, she's wearing boots. These boots were made for walking, and that's what they do. One of these days, these boots are walking, the song, okay? She's wearing boots, all right? So that, we all know that song is like a powerful woman thing. Like, you see me walking in these damn boots, nigga, okay, right? And then they were red. And we all know, Lady in Red, okay? We're talking about a shorty who's a hot tamale, a shorty who's fine, can get a man she wants anytime. And they were red boots, bro. Banging boots. So to me, that put something together for me. Maybe not for you, but it put something together for me. Why is my camera lagging a little bit? Is it just me? It might be just me. Anyway. And she walks home. She walks home with her, first of all, why Lawrence just got a ready-made set plastic bag in his house. Maybe Issa had already set plastic bag in her purse. Who knows? But she walked. She did her walk of shame gracefully and beautifully. And all she had to do was put some water just to, nobody would have known the difference because sis looked put together. And them boots looked great with that little sweater. Okay. And she walked home. She walked home happy and just feeling grateful for what just happened. And in the wind down, Issa said, like, her strut was just very, it was just very controlled. It was her moment. And she was happy. It was Issa's first moment being by herself and just, thinking over the night, thinking over the past week, month, 6 months that she's went through putting this block party together. And for this to be the standpoint where Issa's alone in her thoughts and she's just like, yo, I did it. It tried to break me, but I did it. Molly tried to break me, but I did it. Lawrence, you broke me, but we did it. Again. And what I really like in the episode, I'm going to end it right here, y'all. What I really liked in the episode is Lawrence saying, if somebody would have told me a year ago that I'd be sitting here with your ass, I wouldn't have believed it. And I like to leave it on the note of what a difference a year can make. The things that you allowed and accepted this year probably won't even affect you next year. And the same goes for the years beforehand and the years after. That's one of the quotes that I have came up with myself. I never seen somebody say it. I came up with myself, and my boy Cleve, he loves the fact that I've said this because he lives it for it. The things that used to bother me last year don't even faze me this year. Okay. And so I love the fact that we got a full circle episode. We got what is it called? I don't know what it's the word, but we got a full episode. Okay. We got an episode where there was closure. That's the word. Where there was closure, and then there was questionings. Okay, questions, because like I said, season 1, season 2, where they had that original closure episode in their old apartment, there really wasn't a why. What happened? What did I do wrong? It was just kind of like, I love you and I know you love me. I'm sorry that I hurt you and I'm sorry you hurt me. But this time we got a full grown adult in their 30s conversation. And I don't know. I just loved it. I loved it. It was great. It was awesome. Thank you so much for watching my recap and my preview. My recap of this episode, my review. I'm sorry I get mixed up on my words so much because I was thinking about the preview for the next episode is when Molly and Issa finally sit down in the same restaurant that they started in season 3 with. If you remember, it's the same restaurant. So I'm so happy to see what this episode is going to bring, what's going to happen. It seems like Issa's being really optimistic about this episode, and Molly's still being a little stank. I'm sorry, my brother's home now. And Molly's being a little stank still, but Andrew's still trying to give her like, hey, it's going to be cool. But it is what it is. I don't care about Molly no more. But thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. If you watched the whole entire thing, you is a real one. Thank you. Make sure that you comment down below what you think. Do you think Issa and Lawrence are going to be rekindling their relationship? Do you think that if Lawrence moves to San Francisco, Issa will follow? Do you think they're just like, this was just a moment for us to have, and it doesn't matter if, we stay? Because this is what Issa said at the end of the wind down. It doesn't matter to Issa at this moment in time if they rekindle and try to do something, or if this was just like their one-time thing and they just know they love each other. Issa gets to walk away knowing they're still good, and Lawrence gets to know that they're still good no matter what. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for commenting. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you have any advice that you want to give me, or you have any questions about your love life, make sure that you DM me at Swipes and Giggles on Instagram, or you hit me down in the comments below. And yeah, thank you guys so much.